From adversity to triumph, the unstoppable rise of Black entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Black CEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the stories that shape the landscape of Black entrepreneurship. I'm your host, and today we're in for a treat that's going to challenge your perceptions, ignite your passions, and maybe even change the trajectory of your life. We recently had the incredible honor of sitting down with Ava Roseboro, a visionary leader who's not just making waves, she's creating tsunamis of change in the world of Black business. Ava's insights are like lightning strikes of wisdom, illuminating the path for aspiring entrepreneurs and seasoned business veterans alike. Her work in empowering Black-owned businesses has quite literally reshaped communities, breathing life into dreams that many thought impossible. But here's the kicker. What Ava shared with us isn't just inspirational, it's revolutionary. Now, let me ask you a question that might make you squirm in your seat a little. When was the last time you looked at a seemingly insurmountable obstacle and thought, well, that's it, game over? Hold on to that feeling, because by the end of our time together, you're going to see those very same obstacles as your secret weapons. We're about to embark on a journey through the extraordinary world of Black entrepreneurship. It's a world where resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's the air entrepreneurs breathe. It's a realm where innovation isn't born in cushy boardrooms, but in the crucible of necessity. And it's a place where community isn't just a nice to have, it's the bedrock of success. Let's start with a hard truth. The path of Black entrepreneurs is often paved with challenges that would make most people throw in the towel. We're talking about centuries of systemic barriers, doors slammed in faces, and dreams deferred. But here's where it gets interesting and where you might want to lean in a little closer. These very obstacles, these seemingly insurmountable barriers, have been the forge in which some of the most innovative, resilient, and downright unstoppable business leaders have been created. It's like the universe threw down a gauntlet saying, you can't succeed. And Black entrepreneurs collectively responded, watch us. Through my enlightening conversation with Ava, three crucial lessons emerged. Lessons that have been the secret sauce, the magic formula, the hidden superpower of countless Black entrepreneurs throughout history. And trust me, these aren't just feel-good platitudes. These are battle-tested strategies that have propelled visionaries from the margins to the forefront of their industries. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Lesson number one, resilience isn't just a virtue, it's your superpower. Now, I know what you're thinking. Resilience, really? That's your groundbreaking insight. But hear me out. When we talk about resilience in Black entrepreneurship, we're not talking about simply bouncing back. We're talking about bouncing back with such force that you shatter the very barriers that tried to hold you down. Let me introduce you to someone who embodied this principle to her very core, Madam C.J. Walker, born Sarah Breedlove in 1867. Yes, just 2 years after the Civil War ended. Walker entered a world that had very specific ideas about what a Black woman could and couldn't do. Spoiler alert, being a millionaire entrepreneur wasn't on the can-do list. Picture this. You're a washerwoman, earning barely enough to keep food on the table. You're facing not just racial prejudice, but gender discrimination in an era when women's rights were still a distant dream. Oh, and let's throw in some hair loss issues just for fun. Most people would see this as a recipe for a life of struggle. Walker, she saw it as an opportunity. Instead of accepting the limitations society placed on her, Walker looked at her challenges and thought, you know what? I bet there are other women facing the same issues. And just like that, she didn't just identify a market need, she created an entire industry. Walker developed a line of hair care products specifically for Black women, a market that had been completely ignored by mainstream beauty companies. But here's where it gets really good. She didn't just sell products, she sold empowerment. Walker created a sales model that allowed other Black women to become entrepreneurs themselves, effectively creating a network of micro businesses across the country. Now, let's pause for a moment and really let that sink in. In an era when Black women were often limited to domestic work, Walker created a pathway to financial independence and entrepreneurship. She didn't just overcome barriers, she obliterated them and then used the rubble to build an empire. By the time of her death in 1919, Walker was one of the wealthiest self-made women in America. But her true legacy isn't in the millions she made, it's in the thousands of lives she changed. She funded scholarships for Black students, donated to the NAACP, and showed the world that Black women weren't just capable of success. They were capable of redefining what success looks like. So the next time you're facing a challenge that seems insurmountable, channel your inner Madam C.J. Walker, look at that obstacle and ask yourself, how can I turn this into an opportunity, not just for myself, but for my entire community? Now, let's move on to lesson number 2. Identifying market needs isn't just good business sense. It's a pathway to empowerment. This isn't about just finding a gap in the market. It's about recognizing the unmet needs of your community and having the audacity to believe that you can be the one to meet them. Enter Oprah Winfrey. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oprah? Everyone knows Oprah. But let me tell you, the Oprah we know today, the media mogul, the kingmaker, the woman whose name has literally become synonymous with success, that Oprah was once told she was unfit for television news. Imagine that for a second. You're a young black woman in the 1970s trying to break into an industry that's overwhelmingly white and male. You fought your way out of poverty, overcome personal traumas, and finally landed a job in television, only to be told you're not fit for it. Many would have seen this as the end of the road. Oprah, she saw it as a detour to something even bigger. Instead of trying to fit into the narrow box of traditional news, Oprah recognized a deeper need in her audience, a hunger for authentic, meaningful conversation. She didn't just identify a market need, she tapped into a human need. And in doing so, she didn't just create a successful talk show, she revolutionized daytime television and became a cultural phenomenon. But Oprah didn't stop there. Through Harpo Productions, she went on to produce films and television shows that centered diverse voices. In an industry that often treated diversity as a checkbox to be ticked, Oprah made it the main event. She proved that representation isn't just morally right, it's commercially viable. And here's where Oprah's story intersects beautifully with our first lesson on resilience. She didn't just use her success to build personal wealth, she used it to lift others up. Through the Oprah Winfrey Foundation, she's invested millions in education and leadership development for underprivileged youth. She understood that true success isn't measured solely by personal achievement, but by the positive impact we have on our communities. So, here's your challenge. Look around your community. What needs are going unmet? What voices are going unheard? That gap you see, that's not just a market opportunity, it's your chance to create meaningful change. Now, let's tackle our third and final lesson. Community support isn't just helpful, it's essential. The journey of black entrepreneurs is rarely a solo venture. It's supported by strong networks, mentorship, and collaboration that are crucial for overcoming challenges and achieving lasting success. To illustrate this point, let me introduce you to Robert F. Smith. Now, Smith isn't a household name like Oprah, but in the world of finance, he's a titan. He's the founder of Vista Equity Partners and one of the wealthiest black entrepreneurs in the world. But what's truly remarkable about Smith isn't just his financial success, it's how he's leveraging that success to create opportunities for others. Smith's journey from chemical engineer to financial mogul is a masterclass in the power of education, innovation, and giving back. Born in Denver, Colorado in 1962, Smith faced significant racial barriers in the finance industry. But rather than letting these obstacles deter him, he used his unique perspective to identify opportunities others had overlooked. By founding Vista Equity Partners in 2000, Smith didn't just build a company that manages over $96 billion in assets. He created a platform to support and invest in other innovative businesses, many of which are led by underrepresented entrepreneurs. But here's where Smith's story takes a powerful turn. In 2019, he made headlines by paying off the student loans of the entire graduating class at Morehouse College. Now let that sink in for a moment. This wasn't just a generous act. It was a strategic investment in the future of the black community. Smith understands a fundamental truth. True wealth isn't hoarded, it's circulated. By alleviating the burden of student debt for these graduates, he's empowering a new generation of black professionals to pursue their dreams without financial constraints. This is community support at its most powerful, creating a ripple effect of opportunity and success that extends far beyond a single individual. Now I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for billionaires like Robert Smith, but what about the rest of us? And that's exactly the point. You don't need billions to make a difference. Maybe you can't pay off an entire class's student loans, but can you mentor a young entrepreneur in your community? Can you collaborate with other local businesses to create opportunities? Can you use your skills or resources to lift up someone who's just starting out? Remember, every great business, every world-changing innovation, every transformative movement started with a single step taken by someone who refused to accept the status quo. Madam C.J. Walker didn't set out to become a millionaire. She set out to solve a problem for her community. Oprah didn't aim to build a media empire. She wanted to create meaningful conversations. Robert F. Smith didn't just accumulate wealth. He used it to create opportunities for others. So where does this leave us? What can we learn from these remarkable journeys? How can we apply these lessons to our own lives and aspirations? First, embrace resilience as your superpower. Remember that every rejection, every setback, every no you hear is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Use these challenges to fuel your determination and sharpen your focus. Like Madam C.J. Walker, look at the obstacles in your path and ask, how can I turn this into an opportunity? Second, become a keen observer of your community's needs. What problems do you see that no one else is addressing? What unique perspective do you bring to the table? Your background, your experiences, even your struggles can be the key to identifying innovative solutions that others have overlooked. Like Oprah, don't just look for a gap in the market. Look for a way to meet the deeper needs of your community. Third, build and nurture your community. Seek out mentors who can guide you, collaborators who can support you, and mentees whom you can uplift. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. Your success isn't just about you. It's about creating opportunities for others and strengthening your entire community. Like Robert F. Smith, think about how you can use your success, whatever form it takes, to create pathways for others. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Think about that moment of rejection or discrimination I asked you to recall at the beginning of this talk. Now, I want you to reframe it. How can you use that experience as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block? What lesson can you draw from it that will make you a stronger, more resilient entrepreneur? The stories we've explored today, from Madam C.J. Walker's revolutionary hair care empire to Oprah Winfrey's media dominance to Robert F. Smith's financial innovation and philanthropy, aren't just tales of individual success. They're blueprints for community empowerment, roadmaps for turning adversity into advantage. You have within you the same resilience, the same innovative spirit, and the same potential for community impact as these trailblazers. The question is, how will you use it? What need will you address? What barriers will you break down? What legacy will you build? As Ava Roseboro so powerfully reminded us, the future of Black entrepreneurship isn't just about individual success. It's about collective elevation. It's about using our talents, our resources, and our platforms to create opportunities for others, to challenge systemic barriers, and to redefine what's possible for our communities. So, here's my call to action for you. Don't just dream big, dream beyond. Dream of businesses that don't just turn a profit, but transform lives. Envision success that's measured not just in dollars, but in doors open for others. Commit to building legacies that will inspire and empower generations to come. Starting today, I challenge you to take one concrete step towards realizing that vision. Maybe it's reaching out to a mentor or offering to mentor someone else. Perhaps it's finally putting that innovative business idea on paper. Or it could be collaborating with other local entrepreneurs to address a pressing need in your community. Whatever it is, do it with the resilience of Madam C.J. Walker, the vision of Oprah Winfrey, and the community-minded spirit of Robert F. Smith. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, your journey, your impact. The world is waiting for your unique contribution, your innovative solutions, and your unwavering determination. The time is now. The entrepreneur the world needs is you. So go forth and redefine what's possible. Break barriers, build communities, and create legacies that will echo through generations. Because when you rise, we all rise. And together, we can create a future where the phrase Black entrepreneur isn't just a descriptor. It's synonymous with innovator, trailblazer, and world changer. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Now, let's go out there and make some history.